Good evening. It's time to talk again. We were having some discussions over the past several weeks, and as the High Priests Council got together and had some discussions, and we've had discussions with members too, about the purposes and the aims of the Ordo Dracul and where we're going and what's going to be happening. And there's been a lot of dynamic energy moving around about expectations versus goals and dreams, etc. But there was one commonality to it all. And I was having a short discussion with a very old friend of mine. And I was talking with her about community. And as we talked about the way things have changed over time, through many different communities. I mean, it's as we say, the Ordo Dracul is not a vampire clan, and I don't know how to emphasize that enough, because there's a lot of people out there that think we're a vampire clan. We are not a vampire clan. The Ordo Dracul is a gathering of witches, occultists, priests, priestesses, seekers of magic, etc., and yes, vampires. And all who have collectively and who continue to collectively gather in a community under the order and under the auspices, the name and the umbrella of the order. That's the way it's always been for a very long time. And we discussed the dynamics about how some communities, at least, and I'll talk about the vampire genre, what used to be called the OLV, and still is, the online vampire community. It used to be very different, and I referred to this during the last live briefly, that it was almost more academic. There was a lot of common seeking. There was a lot of commonality to, the infusion and the understanding of knowledge and wisdom. And there seemed to be a lot more people who understood the old adage than that wisdom is not the beginning of knowledge, that a lack of wisdom is the beginning of knowledge. And the same can be said for knowledge being the beginning of wisdom. That, having knowledge is not the beginning of wisdom. A lack of knowledge is the beginning of wisdom. And, that double-edged sword is always spinning between people and between communities. And, it's the commonality between everyone that we are working very hard to get back to. And it's commonality of purpose. It's commonality of dreams. It doesn't mean people are always going to agree with each other. I mean, in the order, my God, I can't tell you. I mean, everybody has different goals, different individual ideas about what they want to do with their lives, etc. But the idea is to identify what and why you want in your life, and what and why you're here or anywhere. What is there? What is your purpose? The purpose of the order is to support and help each other. And then the next question I always get is, well, support and help do what? Well, it's simply to become better, to become more powerful, to become stronger, to become more cohesive with one another. I mean, individuality is a strong concept, and everybody has their own individual sources of strength and power within them. And we encourage and try to teach and try to help as we get taught and helped by other people as well, about how to raise the power within. And what we are trying to reconnect, as we did in the old days, and if you talk with the old guys who used to be around 20 years ago, 15 years ago, even 10 years ago in the OLV, they'll tell you that there was a lot of different communities, but they were all sort of working in the same line. A lot of information sharing and gathering, a lot of talking and discussing. And the common purpose was what? It's to raise your vibrations. It's to become more, to become better, together and individually. That's what the Ordo Dracul is working towards. That's why there's so much resistance against us from some people. That commonality of purpose, I don't know, it seems to have hopped an air balloon and gone over the Alps or something, proverbially. But it's out there. And because everybody wants to be better, they want to get better, they want to drive themselves, and that takes work. It takes work, it takes study, it takes research, and that's what we used to say in the old days, is that if you want to know more about vampirism, witchcraft, the occult, if you want to know more about the higher ethereal aspects of being, what do? Well, you don't watch a movie. I mean, some movies are really informative, they're great, but you got to open a book, you got to study, you got to talk to one another. That's what we're doing. That's what the Ordo Dracul is trying to get back to. That's why the Academy is coming up. There are other academies that are rising as well. We support and applaud all of that. So, in terms of empowering each other, we are in a common spirit looking to raise one another's vibrations. And where you're doing ritual individually, and when you're meditating individually, it's a very personal thing. Like rituals, very personal thing. Many people, there's a lot of solitaries out there who engage in ritual alone. They feel alone. They say nobody, I'm more comfortable being by myself. I don't want to be with anybody. That's fine. Even when you're in ritual alone, there is a communing that takes place, a communing of energy. The number of times we have, even here in Transylvania, we can feel you. We can feel people. God knows we can feel those who don't like us. I mean, I can't tell you the number of times we can feel the vibrations. And you do. You've told me this. You've told Andreas this. You've told other high priests this. That the commonality, that's called a collective consciousness. It's real. It's valid. That's the cohesive binding tie between us all. That's where magic interweaves itself. Like Nikola Tesla said, I've quoted him before, and a lot of people have out there. You have probably. That if you want to know more, if you want to know about the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. He knew it back then. So did Einstein and the likes of other theorists like them. So, we'd like to put a call out right now. There's a lot of upsetness. This is a hard season we're all going into and have been in. Samhain was very dynamic this year, and the veil was very thin, and I don't think it's thinned much after. I felt the same thing last year, and I don't think the veil has really thickened again all that much. I feel a lot of spirits. There's a lot of unsettledness going on. And as we enter the holiday season, Thanksgiving, now Christmas coming, it's very hard on a lot of folks. It's very hard on a lot of people. It's hard to be away from home. It's hard to be at home. We all know family. We love them, but it's hard. And so as you engage in your ritual, as you work on those personal aspects of empowering yourself, focus on energy, focus on strength, focus on power. Power's a good word. It's not dangerous. It's the misuse of power that's dangerous. Don't misuse it for yourself, and don't misuse it for others. In the future, I'll be doing lives on focusing and working on shielding and frequency raising, and we'll be doing different lives on magic, different aspects of vampiric magic. We're going to be doing a lot of lives on that coming up. Short ones, little practices and rituals you can do. But overall, when you're doing ritual, in terms of contacting and connecting and channeling spirits and touching the spirits, touching the entities, if you want to reach out to Nosferatu or whoever the deity is who you look to, remember the words collective consciousness, because the energy that you're reaching out with is other people's energy too. In closing, I would ask everyone that in the course of, especially this season, but the whole year round, as you work on ritual, as you work on these things with yourself, try to reduce the amount of clutter going on Facebook, Instagram, social media, all that crap. Yes, it's important. Yes, we connect there. Yes, we all talk there. Like I heard a rock star say once, that, Facebook, it's one of those, demons that unfortunately we have to exist with because it's a necessary evil. Facebook has done a lot of great things, but it's also caused a lot of chaos. And we can't allow that kind of chaos to disrupt the frequencies of what we're trying to do with ourselves, either individually or collectively. Yeah, I guess that's about all. We wanted to bring up ritual, the community, where the Ordo Dracul thinks of itself, how we're looking back to the way things used to be and where things are going, and we're really excited about this. And we would ask you that if you want to be with us, look to the Academy, look to the work we're trying to do. And, if you're in another community, doesn't mean we can't be friends. Doesn't mean we can't reach out and work with each other. We're all in parallel courses here. At least many of us are on parallel courses. We're all trying to get better. Raise your vibrations. Work with the rituals. And remember, you're never alone. There's always entities with you. Have a good night.